Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. We're going to be talking about the Houston Rockets potentially drafting Knueppel with the 10th overall pick. Last night, the Houston Rockets got the 10th overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft lottery. The Rockets had a really good chance getting the 9th overall pick, but unfortunately, they got the 10th overall pick, which sucks. The Rockets had over a 50% chance of getting the 9th overall pick, and they had a 28% chance of getting the 10th overall pick and ended up getting the 10th overall pick. But now there's, controversy of what the Rockets will do with that 10th overall pick. Most people want the Houston Rockets to trade that pick, and I am on that train. But there is one guy I want this Houston Rockets team to select if he's available at number 10, and if not, I think it's if this guy's not available at 10, trade the pick. Go get a Kevin. Add this draft pick, add this top 10 pick in a Kevin Durant deal or a Trae Young deal or a Giannis Antetokounmpo deal. I'm just throwing out some of the superstars that have been thrown in trade talks to the Rockets. Maybe Jaylen. Look, I'm not gonna rule out Jaylen Brown because the Celtics. There are going to be a lot of trade rumors with the Celtics. There were rumors with Jaylen Brown a couple years ago. He could be another superstar that could be added to the list of trade targets this Houston Rockets team. But even though there are superstars that the Houston Rockets can go get and maybe add the 10th overall pick to it, Knueppel is the guy the Houston Rockets I don't think can pass up on. And here's why. Here's one of the things I look at. It's the desperate need of three-point shooting. Look, you can add in a Kevin Durant. You can add in a Jaylen Brown, a Trae Young. All those guys are great shooters. But to me, I don't think it fully completes. It doesn't completely fix the three-point shooting team. The three-point shooting issue this team had last year. Kevin Durant is great. He's the best three-point shooter, I think, of all the guys that you're going to look at the Houston Rockets to look, to bring in. If you trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, that doesn't help your three-point shooting issues at all. Sorry to Giannis. I mean, he helps a lot of issues offensively, but he doesn't fix any three-point shooting issues this team has or free throw issues, to be honest. Kevin Durant can help you fix the free throw and three-point shooting issues. Same thing with Trae Young or Jaylen Brown if you're going to go after guys like that. But one guy doesn't do – you need multiple guys. That's how bad the Rockets' three-point shooting was last year. And so it'd be great if the Rockets drafted Knueppel. The thing that speaks out to me is something Ime Udoka said in his end-of-the-season press conference. It was kind of a joke. But I think he's serious at the same time. He was asked something like, "What do you guys need? What do you guys need to add in?" or something like that. And he said a 50% three-point shooter and a 90% free throw shooter. It's going to be hard to find someone who's a 50% three-point shooter and a 90%, a 90% free throw shooter. So I think Udoka, when he said that, was a little bit, pushing it as a joke. But at the same time, I still think he was saying that we need to add in better free throw shooting and better three-point shooting, and some of the guys that are already on the team need to do better in those two categories as well. Well, Knueppel would definitely help with that for sure because Knueppel provides one of those. Knueppel, I'll give you one better than 90% free throw shooter. He's a 91% free throw shooter and was 41% from three, which is still really good. And so 41% from three, 91% from the free throw line, that helps with that issue. And not only is he an amazing shooter, but he's a guy that you could consider a shooting guard at 6'7". So, 217 pounds. With his shooting ability, he can play at the 2, he can play at the 3. This wouldn't happen on the Houston Rockets, but he could play on the he could play at the 4 on some teams. That's not going to happen. Definitely not on this Houston Rockets team. But here's the thing: I think with the Rockets liking to play big, Knueppel definitely could help with that. As he can play in the 2 guard, he can play at the 2 guard in some of these big lineups that the Rockets play. Which would just make these lineups for the Rockets have they have these big lineups where you'll see Jabari, Şengün, and Adams on the floor with each other, with Amen, Thompson, that could be a huge lineup. Can you imagine a Min Thompson, Knueppel, Jabari Smith Jr., and Steven Adams and Alperen Sengun in the same lineup? We're not talking about the starting lineup, but if the Rockets rolled with that in the second quarter or at some moment of the fourth quarter in the game, like where you've seen the Rockets go with lineup that has a Min Thompson and Jabari and Sengun and Adams as the bigger as a bigger lineup. Sometimes that fifth player, sometimes it's Dylan Brooks, sometimes it's Fred VanVleet, sometimes it's been Jalen Green, but it could be even a bigger lineup with better shooting if it was Knueppel added to that lineup, where you'll see the Rockets do their double big lineup mixed with Jabari at the 3, with Adams, Sengun, and Jabari, and you'll see them do that in the second quarter. You'll see them do that in the fourth quarter. Sometimes do it a little bit in the first quarter as well. He could really help with that, being so tall, and being a shooting guard. So I think he'd be a great fit for this Rockets team. I'd love to see the Rockets bring him in. And the question is, does he fall to 10? Before the draft lottery, I would have said no, but there are some mock drafts that have him falling. And for the good thing for the Rockets, he has an ankle injury, which, you don't want to see him, be injured and hurt him long term. But an injury could, scare some teams and wanting that could lead to some teams staying away from him, where I think you could see a world where he could fall to 10 to the Houston Rockets. Let me know your thoughts on the Houston Rockets with the drafting Knueppel in the comment section, and peace out. Go Rockets.